Well, now to 3 missing Colorado women. All of them have internet modeling profiles. So our question is there a connection?
Target 13's Lindsay Watts is finding about some potential dangers behind modeling websites. She's talking to a model who was lured into the sex trade.
3 beautiful young women who've seemingly disappeared. 19-year-old Cara Nichols of Colorado Springs has been missing since October.
It's very out of character, and so we just don't understand it.
22-year-old Kelsey Schelling from Denver was last seen 3 weeks ago. Her empty car was discovered in Pueblo. Now we've learned about 17-year-old Raven Cassidy Furlong, missing from Aurora since February 5th.
She has not contacted anybody. Nobody has seen her, nobody's heard from her, and she has not used her phone.
Both Raven and Cara had modeling profiles on the social networking website Model Mayhem. We found a profile for Kelsey on another site.
It's just models, it's photographers, it's stylists, it's makeup artists, and so I got on there.
Jillian Morning had a profile on Model Mayhem 6 years ago. She got connected there to a so-called manager. She says things went well at first, then on a photo shoot in Arizona.
He came into my room with 2 other guys, and they, all proceeded to rape me, and they took pictures of it.
Jillian says they also filmed what happened.
And a couple weeks later, he contacted me and said, if you don't agree to continue to do these types of things, then I'm going to put these videos of you being raped on the internet and tie them to your name.
Jillian says at 19 years old, she was trafficked for 6 months until her manager went to prison for an unrelated crime.
God was definitely on my side and looking out for me, because I don't really know how else it would have ended.
She's now a public speaker, sharing her story, warning of how dangerous the world of modeling can be.
The owners of the Modeling Mayhem website tell me, quote, the site offers detailed safety advice to help members understand what to look for when they are contacted by others. The site also has a feedback mechanism that allows members to let site moderators know of suspicious activity.
A human trafficking group is now voicing concern over Cara Nichols. The Colorado Springs teen has been missing more than 7 weeks now. Tonight, Target 13's Lindsay Watts has the latest on the search for Cara.
Heather, we've told you about the Las Vegas escort ads with photos of Nichols recently posted online. Well, now the sheriff's investigators say that Nichols is not behind those ads and could still be in danger.
Cara Nichols' family calls the ads cruel hoax attempts. Investigators say they believe prostitution sites pulled old pictures of Nichols from the web.
But in speaking with authorities from the Las Vegas area, they said it is quite common for escort businesses to simply kind of shop around, if you will, on the internet and find photos like that.
Provocative photos of the missing teen have sparked headlines that the Nichols family calls exploitative.
People are stuck on words like lingerie model or prostitution, and they've lost the fact that someone's missing. Someone's loved one, someone's sister, someone's daughter, someone's best friend is gone. And that should be our focus, not the occupation.
Aubrey Terry is with the Human Trafficking Task Force of Southern Colorado. She says she's often seen women considered less of a victim because of lifestyle.
Regardless of the situation and regardless of what she's engaging in or not engaging in, she's still missing.
From her work with victims, she knows that aspiring models like Nichols can be especially vulnerable.
There's been places that have fronted as modeling agencies that were actually just centers for trafficking and for prostitution. And so there's definitely a connection between the two.
Nichols left her cell phone, money, and ID when she last left her Colorado Springs home. She told her roommate she was going to Denver for a modeling job.
And that is where we begin tonight. No one has seen or heard from 19-year-old Cara Nichols since October.
Tonight, Cara Nichols' mother is revealing new details about her daughter's past and the role it might have played in her disappearance. Lindsay Watts has the interview you'll only see here.
Joe and Samantha, for the first time, Cara Nichols' mom is talking about her daughter's involvement in drugs and prostitution. She says she doesn't want to hold anything back that could help find Cara.
We were reluctant to portray our daughter as just a no-good person that nobody should care about. She's our daughter. We love her dearly.
Julia Nichols says it was only after her 19-year-old went missing that she learned what was going on in her life.
Well, we've been told from the beginning that they suspect that she's come to foul play, both because of her issues with drugs and the link to prostitution.
The family was hesitant to talk about it, but with no leads in Kara's disappearance, they're hoping this information could open new doors.
A friend or a parent or someone who might have any suspicion of their own child's involvement in this world or past involvement.
We're hoping by putting your daughter's face out there, we might trigger something.
Nichols says honesty about Kara's past has national media, once interested in Kara's story, no longer wanting to talk about it. Interviews have suddenly been canceled.
It's as though we're re-victimized, that our daughter is blamed for her mistakes and her troubles, and that our story isn't nice enough to be told by the media.
Aubrey Terry with the Human Trafficking Task Force of Southern Colorado says that can be a common perception.
What we're seeing is that there's qualifications on being a victim, that we only want to protect and help those that we feel are worthy.
Like Kara Nichols, Terry was a teen prostitute here in Southern Colorado.
I got lost in that culture, and there was, definitely drugs invited, but it just made me feel like that was all that I was worthy of.
Now she works with survivors.
Just different types of fabric.
Leading a sewing and craft group is one way. She says people need to be aware of the criminal underworld that can prey on young people.
It really can happen to anyone.
We never dreamed that this sort of thing went on in Colorado Springs, but we've since learned it's here.
The El Paso County Sheriff's Office says what happened to Kara remains a mystery, and there's no evidence leading investigators in any one direction.
In other news, we have exclusive new information about a Colorado Springs teenager missing for months. A business owner says he has seen Kara Nichols, but his calls to the sheriff's office were never returned. Target 13's Lindsay Watts is investigating this one tonight. It is a story you will only see here.
James, we're here along Fillmore Street, about 2 miles east of the interstate. This is where the tipster tells me that he saw Kara Nichols many times in the weeks after she went missing. Kara's family says they are furious that investigators never called that man back.
It's extreme frustration and anguish to think that my daughter might have been alive and in harm's way back then, months ago.
We met Julia Nichols in front of the house her daughter disappeared from.
So this is her last known address.
5 months ago, Kara told her roommates she was going to Denver for a modeling job. Only now, one of the first solid leads in the case is coming to light.
He described seeing a girl that looked exactly like Kara, who looked fearful and in distress and was being pushed around.
A tipster who didn't want to be named tells Target 13 he saw Kara from late October into early December with a scruffy-looking man. He says they would hang out near some businesses on Fillmore and Pennsylvania and in a park down the street. The tipster says he left a message at the sheriff's office once in early December and again last week, but heard nothing back.
With all this time going by, I think about the suffering, and I wonder how many other tips have been ignored.
Lieutenant Jeff Kramer says no one at the sheriff's office got the voicemails. It's unknown why.
But I assure you that we're working very consistently, very frequently on this case, trying to follow up on any and all leads that come in.
Investigators interviewed that tipster on Friday after the man contacted Kara's family.
That what's important is we have made contact with that particular tipster and we're following up on the information that was provided.
If you have any information about Kara Nichols, you can call the sheriff's office at 390-5555. Kara's family also wants any tips that you might have, and you can contact them by going to karanichols.org.
Tonight, a Colorado Springs teen has been missing for more than 3 months.
Tonight, we are talking to Kara Nichols' mother about her family's pain, and for the first time, the owner of Nichols Modeling Company is speaking out. Lindsay Watts has your big story.
I never thought I'd be in this situation, or my family would, or my daughter would.
The heartbreak of not knowing where your little girl is, if she's being hurt, held against her will, or something worse.
And as a mother, it's very hard to hear investigators tell us that she might have been killed. It's just excruciatingly difficult and painful.
Kara Nichols' disappearance remains a mystery for investigators and for her family. Nichols' mom knows someone can tell her where her daughter is, but so far, no one's come forward.
We just don't understand what could have happened.
Nichols wanted to be a model and told her roommates she was headed to a job the day she was last seen.
It really has opened our eyes.
J. Anthony Garnica photographed Nichols and had promoted her through his business Beautiful Distractions Models. But he says he stopped hearing from Nichols months before she disappeared. Garnica says what happened has put a new focus on safety.
And when they do show up on site to, check in on their Facebook, that they're here at this photo shoot, take pictures of the location that they're headed to. That thought of it'll never happen to me has now happened to someone within our own family.
Back in November, some photos of Nichols showed up on escort sites in Las Vegas. Investigators have said they don't think that Nichols had anything to do with those postings and that the sites had pulled some old photos from the web.
And so tonight, we are investigating underage girls being sold online for sex.
One website is making millions off prostitution ads. Now there's a big push to get the adult section of that site shut down. We do need to warn you, some of the images you find in this story may be offensive. News Channel 13's Lindsay Watts with a Target 13 investigation you'll only see here.
It's a website where you can purchase furniture, look for a job, find a roommate, or buy a girl.
So Backpage.com's adult section is currently the largest marketplace where women and girls are being bought and sold.
Backpage.com hosts more than 20,000 prostitution ads a day, about 3 dozen daily in southern Colorado. The ages listed are always 18 and over, but some of the photos, they tell a different story. There are documented cases of underage girls being sold on this site. It's happening all over the country and here at home.
I was devastated.
Tina Klaus's daughter is involved in a child prostitution case that will go to trial in the new year. Trevor Baker is accused of pimping a 16-year-old girl on Backpage.com. Police say Baker also admitted to helping Klaus's then 18-year-old daughter sell herself on the site. Klaus says she had never heard of Backpage until then.
I pulled it up myself, and it's interesting how there's no security on it. It's interesting how anybody can get on there.
She says she was stunned by what she saw.
I mean, I'm a mom. I have 3 daughters. You can tell that these girls are not of age. And the provocative pictures that are on there, the information that is on there, is disgusting.
A nonprofit out of Washington, D.C. called Fair Girls helps underage girls escape the sex trade.
What we're finding is almost every single girl who we serve here in the D.C. area is actually a victim who was sold by her pimp on Backpage.com.
The group has started a campaign to get the owners of Backpage to shut down the adult section.
I thought he was my boyfriend. I thought he loved me for real.
Fair Girls created this ad.
He sold me to 4, sometimes 5 men a day.
It tells the true story of what happened to one little girl.
My pimp advertised me online at Backpage.com. That's how these guys would buy me. I'm 13.
Fair Girls has also started a petition to the owners of Backpage. So far, it's gotten more than 41,000 signatures. Fair Girls has support from attorneys general across the nation, including here in Colorado.
Our goal with that petition is really to show the public, as well as the owners of Backpage.com, that there is a true public outcry.
The owners of Backpage have argued that they police the site and report hundreds of ads to law enforcement every month. Sergeant Bill DeHart, who heads the CSPD Internet Crimes Against Children Unit, says that's true based on the tips he's seen.
Many of them have actually been initiated by Backpage staff. They do actually police their website.
DeHart says that information, as well as tips from the community, are crucial.
I think it's important that everyone understands that this is going on in our community.
Klaus says she never thought it would touch her family.
I think that I was naive to think that it wouldn't be a problem for me as a mother and my daughters.
She says her daughter is back living at home and going to school.
She's doing wonderful.
Klaus says internet use is very limited now for all 3 of her daughters. She says she's joined the fight to get the Backpage.com adult section taken down.
I think as a community we need to come together and try to stop this. We need to get it off of there. We need to close it down, shut it down.
If you'd like to sign the petition to the owners of Backpage.com, you can go to our website, krdo.com, and click on links we mentioned. The group that started the petition, Fair Girls, is out of D.C., as I said in the story, but we also have a similar organization right here. It's called the Human Trafficking Task Force of Southern Colorado. And James and Heather, people can also go to our website to get more information about that group.
We're learning more about a child sex ring that sold girls all over our state, including right here in Colorado Springs. Target 13 investigator Lindsay Watts talked to our state attorney general about this. And Lindsay, he really says we need to wake up because child trafficking is a growing problem in Colorado.
Yeah, James, John Souther says that the internet is making this kind of thing easier than ever. Backpage.com is a site that we have investigated before for its child sex ads. No surprise, it's linked to this most current case.
What typically happened in this case. They run across some runaways, do some favors for them, and the next thing you know, they're prostituting them.
12 people have been indicted. They're accused of running and patronizing a Denver-based child sex ring that also operated in Colorado Springs.
Several of the members of the group were members of the Crips gang, and there's a lot of coercion involved.
Investigators say the girls were beaten up. Pimps allegedly made the teens walk the streets, but mainly sold them online at Backpage.com.
In my personal experience, I don't think I've seen an incident of corporate irresponsibility quite as significant as Backpage.com.
Case after case has shown children are being sold on this site every day. Attorney General John Souther is part of a campaign to get the adult section of Backpage taken down. He says he's never gotten a response from the owners.
We've been reading for years now about the fact that American men will go to Southeast Asia, on sex tourism and things like that. But I think we have to come to grips with the fact that we have a serious problem right here in Colorado.
Backpage.com does have a link that shows how to report suspected trafficking. Colorado Springs Police tells us that Backpage staff does monitor the site and reports tips to investigators.
And now to one of our state's most dark secrets. Colorado has some of the most lenient human trafficking laws in the nation. Now, nonprofits and church groups are stepping up to get help for victims. Lindsay Watts has more on what's being done.
Heather, human trafficking often looks like prostitution. The difference is victims are being coerced and manipulated to sell themselves. This weekend, people are meeting in Colorado Springs from around the country looking for solutions.
My sister was trafficked out of Colorado Springs when she was 15.
Corey Lee Shipman was part of a prostitution ring.
She had been addicted to drugs, raped, beaten, and again at 15, and she was recruited by her boyfriend.
Aubrey Terry lost her sister to suicide. She's since devoted her life to helping combat human trafficking and working with victims in southern Colorado. This weekend, she's joined with others to strengthen local efforts.
And one of the things I've noticed here in Colorado Springs, there's a lot of awareness and a lot of people are beginning to hear about it or talk about it, but there's not really a lot of action.
Faith groups and nonprofits are planning new ways to reach those most at risk and provide education.
We do stranger danger when they're young, but we don't do friend danger when they're older because they're approaching them as friends.
The internet has made trafficking easier than ever. It's a worldwide problem with plenty of financial incentives.
$32 billion a year is the money being made in the business of enslaving human beings.
If you want to learn more, the public is invited to the conference tomorrow. It's from 9 until 9 at the Every Home for Christ Church.
According to his Facebook page, Trevor Baker is a local DJ. But police believe he had another way of earning cash. Baker was arrested Saturday, accused of prostituting a child. A source tells Target 13 the girl involved is 16 years old. Police have sealed Baker's arrest documents as they look for more alleged victims.
I think there's a good possibility that it's bigger.
Betty Edwards runs the Human Trafficking Task Force of Southern Colorado. She says usually in these types of cases, there's more than one girl and pimps who could be working together. She says the girls involved are often at-risk youth.
It's not because, oh, I think I'll just go out today and be a prostitute. It's because there's been abuse in the home, or they've been mistreated, homeless.
Edward says while some may think child prostitution doesn't happen here in southern Colorado, that's not the case.
Not from what we've heard from people and from some girls themselves. It happens.
Let's get right to that Colorado Springs man accused of prostituting a child.
Police say Trevor Baker was pimping out a 16-year-old girl as well as an 18-year-old. Arrest documents revealing new details about the case against Baker. Lindsay Watts live with our big story tonight.
Guys, police caught up with Trevor Baker and the two teens here at the Travel Lodge near 26th and Cimarron. Detectives say that Baker would arrange encounters for the girls, bring them to motels like this one, then wait in his car. We asked Trevor Baker about the charges he's facing. He told us, "I didn't do it." But according to police, Baker admitted to pimping a 16-year-old to 3 different men. He told officers he met the girl at this Springs bar, and she told him she was 18. Police say Baker posted a profile for the teen on a popular website for escorts. He advertised her as a 19-year-old blondie. Baker told police he and the girl agreed to split the profits and charge $150 for 30 minutes of sex. Baker says in total they made $450. He told police an 18-year-old friend said she wanted in on the arrangement. Baker said that woman was with a John Friday when police approached him and the 16-year-old as they were waiting for her in the motel parking lot. It was that 16-year-old girl's mother who tipped off police. She also contacted the FBI. Now, as far as the Johns in this case, what we know is that Baker used a prepaid cell phone to arrange meetings, and most likely police are now in possession of that phone.
Well, now to a story that we've been tracking for a while here. A Springs man accused of prostituting 2 teenagers.
Now, one of the hotels where police say it happened is taking action. Target 13's Lindsay Watts has the story you'll only see here.
James and Heather, police caught Trevor Baker and those 2 teens at the Travel Lodge earlier this month. That's on the Springs west side. Employees say they're embarrassed their hotel was allegedly used for prostitution. They're taking steps to stop it from happening again.
It's one, we're going to talk about human trafficking on a very big scale, and then we're going to take it all the way down to what's happening, what happened here at the hotel.
It was a mandatory meeting for employees at the Travel Lodge. They met with the chair of the Human Trafficking Task Force of Southern Colorado.
Prostitution is human trafficking.
Some of these workers saw Trevor Baker with the 2 teens he was pimping.
They were very quiet, and they were very nice people. I mean, I checked Trevor Baker in myself once, so, you know, he really never gave me any indication that, you know, the situation was happening.
Employees learned about the warning signs and now realize there were some red flags.
He was a young man paying with cash, you know, and had a girl coming in his room.
Hotel workers say they're now paying much closer attention to their guests.
As far as, you know, checking people in and taking IDs, you know, for all the adults in the room, and, you know, just really watching for local activity in and out of the hotel.
The task force says everyone needs to be aware and realize prostitutes are almost always victims.
Because there's coercion, there's force, there's fraud connected to almost all of these stories.
Task force tells me the Trevor Baker case is by no means an isolated incident. She says she's now working with 2 other teen girls also being prostituted in the Springs.
A Colorado Springs man accused of pimping a 16-year-old girl was rearrested today. Police say Trevor Baker contacted the alleged victim in the case despite a restraining order. This is the 3rd time he's been arrested for allegedly contacting the teenager he's accused of pimping. News Channel 13's Lindsay Watts has been following this one from the beginning. She's got the story you'll only see here.
The mother of the alleged victim had some support in the courtroom. More than a dozen members of Southern Colorado's Human Trafficking Task Force came out for Trevor Baker's hearing. All wore red.
We're here to show support of the family and the survivor, that it's not okay in our community for a child to be prostituted for any reason.
Police say Baker admitted to pimping a 16-year-old friend on the internet. He says he and the girl wanted to make some money. Baker says he thought she was 18. Soon after greeting our cameras, Baker was cuffed for allegedly contacting the girl again. His bail was set at $1,500. Baker's family said in court they would bail him out right after paperwork was signed at the jail.
This is the third time he's violated a court order to stay away from the survivor, and he's continually violated it. The bond is still only set at $1,500, which is incredibly sad to me that he continually is allowed to be bonded out and allowed to be back into the community.
A Colorado Springs gymnastics coach is banned from the sport after allegations of physical and sexual assault, but we found out he's still teaching.
And we've also learned the gym where he works is run by a man with a prior sex abuse conviction. Target 13's Lindsay Watts has all the details tonight. Lindsay?
Sean Samantha, Coach Doug Boger's name is on the list of people who are banned by USA Gymnastics. That's the governing body for the sport. Tonight I talked to his boss about the accusations that put Boger there, as well as his own conviction for sex abuse.
Doug Boger is the assistant head coach at Art Sports World, a huge gym in the Springs that teaches hundreds of kids. Even though he's supposed to be banned, Boger can work here because Art Sports isn't a member of USA Gymnastics, and the owner is his friend of 40 years.
I know that there's a number of people on that list that are not, they have no conviction, like Doug Boger.
Boger has never been convicted of misconduct, but his accusers in California, who put him on this list, are speaking out for the first time. 10 of Boger's gymnasts from the 70s talked to the Orange County Register. They say he physically and sexually abused them. One woman says Boger had sex with her when she was 13. Another says it happened when she was 12.
This happens to a lot of coaches. People ganging up on their coaches because they felt that they could have had a career.
Art Sports owner Michael Zapp says he doesn't believe the accusations. He thinks the women got angry with a coach known to be tough. Zapp has faced his own troubles. In 1987, he was convicted of second-degree sex abuse. A 12-year-old girl he was coaching said Zapp inappropriately touched her breasts, something he says he would never do.
You don't have to have much anymore for something like this, for any accusation to cause you to go through this horrible experience.
Zapp says he's honest with parents about his and Boger's pasts, even holding a meeting recently.
When people ask me, I'm right up front about it.
Zapp invited us to see his gym. He says it's designed for parents to be able to see exactly what's going on, and also equipped with more than a dozen cameras.
The gym is set up quite simply so you can stand just about anywhere in the building and see what's going on the whole floor.
Now, Boger has denied the accusations against him. We weren't able to get in touch with him tonight, but we are continuing to try and reach him for comment.
A gymnastics coach accused of abuse has been let go from a Colorado Springs gym. This comes after a Target 13 investigation this week. We told you about Doug Boger, a coach banned by USA Gymnastics, who continued to work at Art Sports World. Target 13 investigator Lindsay Watts getting reaction tonight from a former gymnast who says Boger abused her.
Eric, the woman I spoke with, helped put Doug Boger on the list of coaches who are banned. She says she was shocked when she found out he'd been working in the Springs for months.
There was sexual abuse prevalent from the time I was 9.
Charmaine Carnes says the abuse was physical too.
From being kicked in the stomach to being pulled off of the equipment to being strangled.
Carnes was coached by Doug Boger in the 70s and 80s. Back then, she didn't come forward with her accusations. Neither did 9 others who are talking now.
I don't think any of us would have felt safe or mentally able to.
Boger has never been convicted of misconduct, but he was investigated by USA Gymnastics. That investigation led to him being banned from coaching. He could get a job at Art Sports because it's not a USAG member gym.
It's only when he showed up in Colorado Springs coaching again that we were all in shock.
On Sunday, Target 13 talked to the manager of Art Sports, Mike Zapp. He said even though Boger's name is on the banned list, he doesn't believe he did anything wrong.
I know that there's a number of people on that list that are not, they have no conviction, like Doug Boger.
In a statement, Zapp now says Boger will no longer be working at Art Sports because of the allegations. Zapp has also faced an accusation against him. In 1987, he was convicted of second-degree sex abuse after a young gymnast said he touched her breasts. It's something he denies ever happened. He says he's always open and honest with parents about his past.
We had heard nothing about Mike Zapp having a previous conviction, and we definitely hadn't heard anything about the other guy with all of his accusations against him.
Alicia Rogers' son had been taking a tumbling class at Art Sports. She says he loved it and she liked the gym.
But in the end, we just decided we couldn't give our money to someone that's been convicted of harming a child.
Doug Boger has denied all of the allegations against him. We've continued to try and get in touch with him for further comment, but we haven't been able to talk to him. We have much more on this story on KRDO.com.
Target 13 exposed allegations of past sex abuse against 2 Colorado Springs gymnastics coaches. And now, almost a year later, some troubled parents have banded together to start their own gym.
Yeah, Target 13 Investigates is following up tonight. KRDO News Channel 13's Lindsay Watts is live with a story you'll only see here. Lindsay.
Heather and James, High Country Gymnastics is here near Garden of the Gods and 30th Street. It just opened up in recent months. The gymnasts who train here used to be at Art Sports World, but after some serious accusations came to light, their parents decided to make a change.
So several parents got together and we found a warehouse here, bought a lot of expensive equipment, and we've been going since then.
A rebound for these elite athletes after some serious issues at their old gym. Back in the fall, Target 13 found out a coach at Art Sports World had been banned by USA Gymnastics for past allegations of sex abuse. His friend and owner of the gym had a sex abuse conviction in the 1980s.
Several parents felt that we wanted some place that was more secure and a little bit more safer for our kids.
A big change for the gymnasts, some who trained at Art Sports most of their lives.
You know, it was hard at first, leaving some place you've known for so long.
Everything was like, and fast forward, I didn't know what was happening, so I was just pretty confused.
The kids have bounced back, to say the least. Their coach from Art Sports worked with parents to start the new gym. Some gymnasts here are ranked top in the nation.
I'd love to go to the Olympics. It's my dream.
It's a shame that we had to do what we've had to do, but we're happy that we're able to continue and allow these kids to try to fulfill their dreams.
Art Sports changed its name after our investigation and also fired that coach who was banned by USA Gymnastics. The gym is now called Trampoline World, but the ownership remains the same. Live in Colorado Springs tonight, Lindsay Watts, KRDO News Channel 13.